The Food and Drug Administration recently provided a summary of the agency's accomplishments to date since the signing of the Food Safety Modernization Act on January 4th, 2011. According to the Food Institute, the industry is awaiting the publication of several more rules implementing the act. FSMA marks the most significant changes in food safety laws in over 60 years. FDA's accomplishments include the issuance of interim final rules on criteria for administrative detention, utilizing this authority 3 times, and establishing the Produce Safety Alliance and the Food Safety Preventative Controls Alliance as well. FDA also met the FSMA mandate for foreign food safety inspections and conducted more than 20,000 food facility inspections with state partners over the past year. And here's what else: a more consumer-friendly recall search engine on their website, an updated guide to the seafood industry on the hazards associated with fish and fishery products and the appropriate controls, an interim final rule that requires a person submitting prior notice of imported food, including food for animals, to report the name of any country to which the article has been refused entry. Now, along with the Department of Homeland Security, they issued a joint anti-smuggling strategy to help to identify and prevent smuggled foods from entering our country. FDA announced the fiscal year 2012 fee schedule for certain domestic and foreign facility re-inspections and for failure to comply with recall orders. The Food Institute and the Washington, D.C.-based law firm OFW Law are currently producing a 12-part webinar series on implementation of FSMA, including the analysis of FDA's actions over the last year, as well as future regulatory initiatives. The next installment is offered on January 26th. To register, just contact Sue Antista at foodinstitute.com. What's the best way to give back? That when the Lempert Report continues. Whether it's food drives, direct donations, monetary gifts, or giving to a charitable organization that has ties to the food industry, all types of year-round giving are encouraged. The Washington Post brought up an interesting point, quoting the Center for High Impact Philanthropy at the University of Pennsylvania, that food providers can get what they need for just pennies on the dollar. They estimate that they pay about 10 cents a pound for food that would cost a consumer $2 per pound at retail. In essence, money itself is much more valuable to make direct donations versus consumers purchasing canned goods, for example, off the retail shelf. There are also overhead costs. Feeding America notes on its website that a hastily organized local food drive can actually put more strain on your local food bank than you can imagine. Food dropped off by well-meaning citizens needs to be carefully inspected and sorted. A personal check, by contrast, can be used to order what is needed without placing the extra burdens on staff. Now, it's important to keep these concepts in mind when giving year-round, as well as informing your customers the best ways they can make an impact. The Lempert Report by no means discourages any kind of food charitable giving, as different shelters and food banks have different needs and requirements at any given moment. The Lempert Report uploads right here 3 times a week with the information you need to stay ahead of the trends. For more, just visit thelempertreport.com.